The reason I started drinking coffee, I was in an extremely demanding training program that required me to stay awake. And I drank coffee to stay awake only, like medicating myself. Well, guess what? I drank coffee for then the next 30 years off and on, and I got really good at it. I drank the finest coffee that was available to me in my state or anywhere in the metropolitan area. I would find the best tasting coffee, the best coffee shops where all the really cool people hung out. And I loved coffee. I really started liking it. I really enjoyed it. But guess what? I recently stopped and I'll never drink it again. And here's why. Because coffee, not because of caffeine. Caffeine's secondary. Coffee itself, the actual coffee, is a diuretic. It causes your kidneys to pass water. It opens up your kidneys and causes them to pass water unnecessarily or before they're ready to or whatever. It also, coffee affects the adrenals. So you could actually feel, if you're really tuned into your body and you're very, very fit, you could feel the coffee and the caffeine fatigue your adrenal glands just a little bit, just a tiny bit. And then a lot of people with coffee, and I've been there myself, are drinking a coffee as a stimulant after you crash from sugar. So you eat things you shouldn't eat, like you eat a bunch of donuts that have no good value, whatever, and they're just sugar. They raise your blood sugar level and all that. And then you have a crash and you get sleepy. So guess what? Then you drink coffee to caffeinate yourself to get energy back again. So I realized that ping pong of caffeine, sugar, caffeine, sugar, caffeine, sugar, caffeine, sugar, caffeine, sugar, caffeine, sugar, caffeine, caffeine, sugar, caffeine, sugar, caffeine and sugar, it's not a good ping pong table to put yourself on. Another thing is taking in caffeine. It's a drug that speeds up your heart rate passively. So in other words, it's chemically speeding up your heart rate by transferring that chemical action of the caffeine into an electrical action, right? Because your heart beats off of electricity, but your body works off of an electrobiochemical system. So it's electric, it's biological, and it's also chemical, right? Chemical reactions cause those electrical actions. So that's what's going on. So that's why I decided, you know what? Do I really need to be speeding up my heart with caffeine passively? In other words, I'm just sitting there at my desk and I have a big cup of coffee and my heart starts beating faster. That can't be good. You know why? Because your heart starts beating faster when you actually do things. Like go for a walk, stop, get off of your office chair and do a set of 50 push-ups on the floor. Or if you can't do 50, do 5, do 10, do what you can do. Just do a set of push-ups. And guess what? Your heart starts beating faster. So you don't actually need caffeine. Now, I bet you didn't understand what I said when I said earlier coffee is a diuretic. So way back in 1982, after I was just out of high school and I took a health and nutrition class, I learned about that the solutes in the coffee, the solution of the coffee itself, the chemical compounds, they say there's like 600 chemical compounds in coffee, and that those compounds, the coffee itself, is actually the diuretic. When you think about diuretics and what a stress they put on the body, those are cheap diet pills, right? Diuretics cause people to pass water and they feel like, oh, look, I'm losing weight because you just peed out like a gallon of water or whatever. Now you're dehydrated. Yeah, everybody knows that you drink coffee, you have to drink more water because you get dehydrated because you pass water, right? Here's another thing. Because it's a diuretic, when I stopped drinking it, I stopped getting up in the middle of the night to go pee. So interrupted sleep, by any interruption, if you say, stop drinking coffee because it'll interrupt your sleep, and then people hear you say, caffeine, caffeine, caffeine keeps you up at night. And then they say proudly, oh, I could drink caffeine. I could drink coffee. I can handle my coffee. It doesn't keep me up at night. I sleep like a baby, says somebody who's never been healthy one day in their life and can't sleep like a baby. Because, by the way, definition of sleeping like a baby would be in any possible ridiculous position. You've seen babies sleep on the floor, on their chest, with their knees tucked into their stomach and their butts up in the air. If you could sleep like a baby, you could sleep like that. You could sleep on either side. You could sleep on your back. You could sleep on your belly. How many middle-aged men over 40, 50, and 60, or even 30, could sleep on their stomach and sleep well? Not that many. So the guy that says he sleeps like a baby and he drinks coffee, he's lying. Okay, the reality is the interrupted sleep, because maybe I just had 1 cup of coffee in the morning, is the fact that it's a diuretic. So at night, I have to get up and go pee. And guess what? I think it's because I'm old. Because I'm over 60. Oh, that must be what you have to do. No, the reality is that's not what you have to do. I'm getting up to go pee in the middle of the night because I took a diuretic in the morning called coffee. Anyway, that's why I'm not drinking coffee anymore. And I've been off of it now, completely cold turkey, and not having 1 single cup of decaf for a couple of months now. And my energy levels evened out because I also stopped eating added sugars. It's a no-brainer. Oh, your blood sugar's high. Well, stop eating sugar. And so now do I get sleepy occasionally in the afternoon? Absolutely. And yet, guess what? It easily goes away when I get up for a walk or do a set of push-ups. Or even, here's a really good one to affect your neurological system and really make you feel good, is sit there when you're at your desk, you start feeling sleepy, and do some stretches. Stretch your legs, stretch your hamstring, stretch your arms, stretch yourself. That's what you should do. Not what you should do, actually. That's what I'm doing. So I actually came to share with you what I'm doing. So excuse me for saying what you should do. You do whatever you want, but I'm going to share my journey and what I do. This is what I do. So that's all I have to share is what I do, and it works, and I'm living proof, and I could demonstrate it. I could demonstrate that what I do works for me, and you could do whatever you want, and I'll share with you for free on YouTube what I teach my clients to do based on sharing what I do. So this is not dogma for everyone. You could Google and find out that, hey, coffee is actually good for you. It's healthy. You could also Google and find out coffee is not good for you. So you could choose whatever you want. Some people drink a pot of coffee every day and live to be 100 years old. And that's what you're thinking right now. Absolutely. By all means, go for it. I'm just sharing with you what I found out. That I don't want to get up in the middle of the night to go pee because I took a diuretic in the morning. And I don't need caffeine passively speeding up my heart. I could do that myself by action. I could go for a 10-mile run, or I could drop and do some push-ups, or I could do some weightlifting. I could do any number of activity. Activity is what speeds up your heart naturally. So if you're taking a drug to speed up your heart, well, when you think about it, when you say it that way, it doesn't sound very good, but do what you want. I'm just sharing what I do, and it works.